A wild morning in college football with a last-ditch effort to save the Pac-12 conference. Welcome in to College Football Now by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you with breaking news over the last few hours of a wacky few hours that have happened. Let's go ahead and catch you up to speed on everything you need to know, starting with Brett McMurphy, America's college football insider from the Action Network. At last minute, Pac-12 may stay together and sign a grant of rights. After Monday's media rights offer, the Pac-12 held multiple Zoom meetings this week. Arizona's Bobby Robbins appeared fully committed to the Pac-12 so much that one participant said if Arizona leaves, he should win an Oscar. Then, ESPN college football insider Pete Thamel had this to say. Sources with the Pac-12 president meeting at the top of the hour, there's optimism about the league's grant of rights being signed. The key linchpin is Oregon. Heading into the meeting, the school is trending toward not going to the Big Ten. Then Thamel went on to say, Oregon are expected to stay in the Pac-12, barring an 11th hour change that could have the power to keep the league together as Arizona has not finalized its deal with the Big Ten. But then the 11th hour showed up. More from Thamel. Sources indicating to me and Heather Dinich that the Pac-12 is unlikely to land the plane this morning and get its media rights deal signed on this call today. Multiple variables at play here, including 11th hour Big Ten push for Oregon and Washington. Everything remains fluid. McMurphy, following up a couple of minutes later, said the Pac-12 unable to get its grant of rights signed this morning, and nothing has changed as far as Oregon and Washington joining the Big Ten. Sources told the Action Network Ducks and Huskies still expected to be Big Ten bound when finances are worked out in sources. So we began the day, Oregon, Washington, and everybody looking to stay in the Pac-12, and now within an hour later, all of a sudden, Oregon and Washington with the offer up to bid appear to be headed to the Big Ten. What I'm told anyway, all over the place, right? Nicole Auerbach of The Athletic had this to say. Oregon and Washington's exit from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten appears to have lost momentum overnight. Sources briefed on the discussion tell The Athletic. On Thursday night, the Arizona Board of Regents met, but no announcement was made on a possible exit from the Pac-12. The Washington Board of Regents also met Thursday night with no announcement on a possible move to the Big Ten. So what changed over the last 12 or so hours? Here's the thing. At the end of the day, these schools, if they stay in the Pac-12, whether it's to not go to the Big 12 or the Big 10, it's the same situation where if you stay in the Pac-12, you are committing yourself to less money, okay, and a streaming deal, which is not going to have, if any at all, linear television coverage. It doesn't make any sense for this league to stay together as is right now. There's no benefits at all other than just playing the same teams at that point. It doesn't make sense. You are saying no to significant money and also television coverage by keeping this league together. I don't know what happened, but it doesn't make any sense at all. I can tell you that much. What is your one-word reaction to the Pac-12's potential survival here? Chime in and tell us in the comments section what your one word is for how things are stacking up for the Pac-12 at this point in time. Folks, this is why you subscribe. The last couple days, we have picked up a lot of subscribers as we've been talking college football on the channel. And here's the deal. If you want even more coverage, let's up the bet a little bit today. If we get 30 subscribers off of today's video, then we're really going to ramp up the college football realignment talk here on College Football Now by Chat Sports, bringing you more videos as we talk about everything that's going on with the changing landscape in college athletics. This is the channel for you. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/chatsportstv, and turn on notifications to stay up to date what's happening in college football. Jason Scheer, who's done a terrific job covering the Arizona Wildcats for 24/7 Sports, had this update this morning saying Arizona was still planning to go to the Big 12 after last night's meeting. Coaches were informed it was full steam ahead. We have said it's not over until it's over, but it would still be one of the most shocking turnarounds I have seen. Now, the big thing here of where we're at, no one wants to be responsible for the Pac-12's demise. They don't want to be blamed as the team that destroyed the Pac-12 here. And here's the deal. The Pac-12's death if you want to call it that, or who's responsible, it's not Colorado. It's not Arizona or Arizona State or Utah, Oregon or Washington. It all started with USC and UCLA. They're the number ones to blame for the instability in this league. And here's the deal. If you hold this league together for now, you're only pushing off the inevitable here. When we get to 2030 or 2031, when these contracts are up again and the Big Ten comes calling and has even more money in their next TV contract, eventually Oregon and Washington and others are going to have to leave anyway. It's not going to get better for the Pac-12 if this league stays together. Now, let's look at the potential survival plan for the Pac-12. First off, nobody can leave. Nobody can exit. Everybody's got to stay if they're going to survive, obviously. They also have to agree to terms with Apple on a new TV deal, and hopefully they get some linear component out of it, and Apple gives them more money of some sorts, because it's not very friendly right now of $20 million per school, comparatively speaking to what the Big 12, Big 10, and SEC are getting. Everybody would have to sign a new grant of rights that grants the Pac-12 their media rights for the foreseeable future. And then you have to expand or a merger, do something. You can't sit there with 9 teams if you're going to make it as the Pac-12 conference. Whether you go out and get San Diego State or SMU, maybe it's a merger with the ACC potentially, whatever it is, that's what it's going to take to keep this league together. You can't survive with just 9 teams. You got to do something if you're the Pac-12 and you want to keep this thing going forward. Who should the Pac-12 add in expansion? If they're going to survive, what should they do? Should they add a San Diego State and SMU? Should they go ahead and try to merge with the ACC? What do you think? Weigh in, tell us in the comments section who you think the Pac-12 should add. Today's show is brought to you by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code CHAT125, you will get a 125% deposit bonus. Chatsports.com/bet, chat125 at checkout, and you could bet on the college football playoff title odds. Camp's underway now. We're getting ready for the season to start. Georgia, the back-to-back national champions, are the favorites once again at plus 225. Alabama at plus 600. Ohio State plus 700. Michigan plus 900. And LSU plus 1,200. You can get your future bets in there. You can also bet on NFL action, NBA, MLB, and more at chatsports.com/bet. Promo code chat125 at checkout. Now, I'll say this. No matter what happens, the Big 12 is still going to be a winner in all this, even if they don't necessarily land Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah. And I still think that they're going to at least land Arizona. But even if they don't, they're the winner of getting Colorado back, getting a better TV deal, and shaking things up in the Pac-12 the way they did. The Pac-12 is, hanging on by a thread, right? The Big 12 is set up for years to come. Their future much more stable for what's ahead. So what's next for the Big 12? Continue to try to target those Pac-12 members. Don't slow down on trying to get Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, and try to get to that 16 number. If that doesn't happen, if the Pac-12 does survive all this, then you can't play with just 13 teams. You still got to add one more team. I would think at that point you go for UConn or San Diego State to be that 14th member if you can't land those Pac-12 schools. And then there's one other factor, and you could be waiting for the ACC's possible implosion. Maybe that's not any time soon, might not be immediately, but could be coming down the road. Florida State has voiced their frustration. We've heard rumblings about Clemson, Miami, and others. Maybe those schools not necessarily go to the Big 12, but the domino effect of what that could lead for the Big 12 conference is what to watch for there. Now, Ross Dellinger of Sports Illustrated put this out this morning. Despite Arizona's deep interest with the Big 12 and the league's acceptance of such, the Arizona Board of Regents controls the decision for both Arizona and Arizona State. Arizona State more reluctant to make the leap, a key discussion point at last night's Regents meeting. It appears Arizona wants to go to the Big 12. Arizona State a little more hesitant, and the Board of Regents makes the decision for both of them. Jason Scheer followed up this morning saying another one, there have been discussions of a Pac-12 and ACC merger saving each other. So, how about that? It has been a wild last several hours. Is that going to be the calling card here? Do we see a merger of these two conferences on two separate sides of the coast? What do you think? Should the Pac-12 and the ACC merge? Y for yes, in for no. Tell us what you think in the comments section. We're going to continue to cover realignment on the channel. Stay tuned. In the meantime, follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram for more. And I'll see you next time right here on College Football Now.